Oh, guess who's back in the Mizuno Wave Rebellion Flash 3? It's me. Spoiler, it's me. I'm the one. We're doing a 20 piece today. We're running 20 miles in this shoe on the long run, taking you with me, tell you what it feels like to run in the shoe, tell you all about the shoe. So let's get to it. The V3, it's a dual layer foam. So the top layer is the race foam, the Energy XP, which is bouncy. And there's a glass fiber plate, not nylon, not carbon fiber, but a glass fiber plate. And below that is Energy Next. This is the EVA one. It was in the Neo Vista V1. What does that all mean? I mean, that's like, none of that stuff means anything to me when I hear it on the online. I just want to know what it feels like to run in the shoe. Alrighty, first 800 meters into the run. What does it feel like to run in the Wave Rebellion Flash 3? First impression, bouncier. And not really softer, certainly bouncier than the Wave Rebellion Flash 2, which I'm not sure is saying much. The Flash 2 was the firm, but I did enjoy the Flash 2 as a daily trainer, not really the speed trainer, like an endorphin speed to the race day option, because of the weight. The weight was like close to 9 ounces in my US Med size 9, 8.9 ounces. This one, the Flash 3, I'll put it here with some B-roll, because you know me, B-roll king. Anyway, we'll see what it's like when I pick up the pace later in the long run. But so far, it is feeling much better underfoot. All right, for the record, guys, I don't usually use disclaimers. I don't need to make disclaimers because no one sends me shoes. Except for Mizuno. Mizuno sends me shoes. They sent me earlier in the year, in January, or maybe last December, the Wave Rebellion Pro Low, which I think is the best shoe of the year. I just made a video, I'll put it right there. As far as the classic race day shoes go, and I think that shoe is gonna be a good entry-level shoe for heel strikers, because the heel, unlike a lot of these Wave Rebellion series shoes, it's more accessible for heel strikers. I will say I put up the Wave Rebellion Flash 2 to the Flash 3, and ever so slightly, maybe like a centimeter or two, the heel is set back. Not enough to where I would feel the difference. So if you put the Flash 2 on and you're like, man, where's the heel? This shoe feels really weird. I can't run in it. The Flash 3 does not change enough to where it would accommodate you. These planes, man, they know when I'm filming. All right, first mile in is an 8:29. If you like the geometry of Mizuno shoes, that Wave Rebellion line, more of a midfoot striker. This has the same shape, the same last, maybe. Andrea of Doctors of Running really liked the Flash 2. So I imagine she's really gonna like the Flash 3, because it's the same as the 2 in a lot of ways, just a little bit bouncier and more responsive. All right, mile 2, 8:09. We're gonna stop. A little training talk for summer weather. I don't want to run and talk at the same time. Very difficult in this weather, because the weather in South Texas right now, 7:30 in the morning, it's 90 degrees, humidity. It feels like 81. The dew point is 73. It's miserable. This run, like many long runs, is really about survival in the summer. My pro tips as a coach is to run them inside on a treadmill, or to break them up. So if I had 5K blocks or 3-mile blocks of work, I might instead do mile on, mile off, just to give time for the heart rate to come down and be able to not just blow up, because once you overheat, there's no coming back. The body's not gonna cool down no matter how many ice packs you throw on yourself. So really, these runs are all about survival. By the way, guys, okay, no, let's go. I'm training for the Sugar Land Half Marathon. I'm not training for a marathon in the fall. My weekly volume the last 4 weeks after this run will be 67. The other 3 weeks were 65 to 67, kind of in that range. That's more for a half marathon volume wise than I've ever done. trying to PR. I'd like to run under 118. Throw that out there to the universe. The problem, it's in Sugar Land, which is just south of Houston, or oftentimes gets included as part of Houston. October 12th, the weather is a little bit better than this, but not by much. Like fall temps, October 12th have not happened. We don't get the cool 40, 50 degree mornings mid-October. It's still like maybe low 60s, one can hope, if there's no warm front blowing in. So it's not gonna be PR weather, but I should be in PR shape. By the way, you wanna run a faster marathon? My best guess is become a faster runner first, 5Ks, 10Ks, half marathons, then do some marathon training and PR your marathon. That's my approach, or suggestion anyway, so that's what I'm doing. Coaching myself. Gotta show proof of concept. All right, mile 3 is in 8:16. I'm gonna tell you guys, the shirt's already gone, singlet's already gone. It's one of those Florida days. We get some of those really more oppressive kind of days. I don't know how people in Florida do it. Definitely worse in Florida. Or, I mean, a Texas coastal city will be very similar to Florida. I don't want to spend this whole long run bitching about heat and humidity. I live in it. I chose this life. I chose violence. You don't want to hear about it. So, about the Flash V3. It does give a lot of Zoom Fly 6. In the same way, some people take out the Zoom Fly 6 for daily runs. You could do that with this shoe if your mechanics get along well with it. But ideally, like, this is not a long run shoe either, so I'm not gonna judge it on how it performs for the long run, because I'm currently on one. I think really the test for this shoe is going to be the threshold efforts, which it's intended for, like a Zoom Fly 6, like a Endorphin Speed 3 or 4 or 5, whatever number they're on now. I'll do a marathon pace mile after this one, and then a float, do a threshold mile, see how it responds. All right, marathon pace mile, 6:30, gotta walk. It's crazy. I cannot breathe. And if you live in a place that has seasons, put it in the comments, because I am ready to move. I'm gonna go put the house on the market. It's not gonna sell. No one's selling right now, no one's buying, but I just may move to you. So somewhere with seasons, man, because this ain't it. All right, second mile, 6:40, did a half mile, stop for some water. Might just cruise it easy in. Oh man, what a journey. Got me walking. I can't remember the last time the weather crippled me into a walk, but that's where we're at. So I'm walking the last mile or two to my car. I don't know, maybe I had too much caffeine. I don't know, something's weird, something's off. But we're documenting it anyway, because we don't do the IG glam, follow the journey ups and downs. It's just one run. On my left.
Good morning.
Morning. It's a trail steward. What a beautiful day, huh? All right, so the Flash 3 is a walking shoe. You know, decent enough. I probably wouldn't wear it. It's not meant for that. It's not stable. I mean, it's more stable than the 2. I will say it feels a little wider across the forefoot and a little bit around the back. Not that I needed that from the V2 to the V3, because I thought the V2 was just fine as far as the landing goes, but the Flash V2 seems a little bit more narrow than the V3, and that makes sense too, because then there's more foam underneath, which is why it weighs similar weights despite having a lighter foam. But it went 2024 on us. You know, the Rebel V4 went wider, Nova Bus 4 went wider, Flash V2, V3 went a little wider. Whoa, jogged the last couple miles back, got to the car. I think it would be unfair to put a ruling on a 20-mile long run that didn't work out so well. I think the use case for the shoe is a threshold day, like tempo day shoe, like the Zoom Fly 6. So I'm gonna go ahead and run my next workout in these for my threshold and compare it to the Zoom Fly 6 and see how they perform at its intended use case. Peace. All right, Flash 3 talk. In the middle of the week, I took out the Wave Rebellion Pro 2 and not the Flash 2, I took out the Pro 2 because the Flash 3 reminded me of a softer Flash 2 and the Flash 2 reminded me geometry wise like the Wave Rebellion Pro 2, but the Pro 2 was it's a lot softer. So I didn't, even though the geometry of the shoe kind of puts a speed bump under the arches and you land as a midfoot striker. When I say you, I mean me. Kind of pushes me forward a little bit. And the speed bump not bothering me at all. I love the Wave Rebellion Pro 2. And I thought, well, the Flash 3, the foam is softer than the Flash 2. Geometry is pretty similar, slightly different. Is it the same shoe? Because if it's really similar, I would suggest going out and getting the Pro 2 on discount, which I think is still at Running Warehouse or a few other places on sale. But now I put on the Flash 3. No, it's not. The midweek workout in the Pro 2, so I ran in it a couple days ago. I could tell you it's still softer than the Wave Flash 3. Flash 3 is bouncy. That's why I think the Zoom Fly 6 is the best comparison. And I put both of those shoes on the scale before we got going here. And they were, I think, Zoom Fly 6 in my US men's size 9 was 8.5 ounces. I don't know what that is in grams. I'll put it here. And the Flash V3 was 8.6 to 8.5 or something. So they're like the same weight essentially. And I can feel that. The Zoom Fly 6 feels, for a threshold day shoe, a little bit heavier. But when you run in it, you don't notice it because the bounce and the energy return comes back. Well, with the Flash 3, that's what I'm going to be looking for today. Does the shoe bounce back? All right, rep 1 in the books. It was a 5:57 pace, the Flash V3. Okay, comes alive at threshold. It's once you start getting into that threshold pace, it's beautiful. I do get some bounce back. It kind of also reminds me of the Mach X2. You know, like those are, that and the Zoom Fly 6, a little bit on the heavier end with lots of bounce to give you something back. So if you're into that kind of thing, the Zoom Fly 6 and the Mach X2, and you're a midfoot striker, I think the Flash V3 might be your bag. All right, rep 5 of 6 was a 5:57 effort pace. I think I figured out these shoes. The Mizuno Wave Rebellion Flash 3. They're heavy like the Zoom Fly 6, right? 8.5 ounces, but the Zoom Fly 6 has that bounce back. So do these shoes. But I'm on my 3rd threshold workout of the week, and I hit the gym with some lunges I hadn't done in a while midweek, so my legs are sore. Some of my legs are fatigued, so I think halfway through the rep, I'm going with the bounce of falling into that rhythm, and I'm not picking up the cadence. So I'm having to fight a little to keep my heart rate in the threshold zone and to keep that threshold effort. So I'm thinking these would be great for marathon pace because they would just bounce back, but also threshold if I had fresh legs actually. Anyway, all right, 6 of 6 complete. Last rep was 5:58. Hitting our splits, putting in the work. Now we're gonna take a break and get some electrolytes. All right, Floberg, he's got the tree talk. I have Midlife Runner, he's got the trampoline talk. So today we're gonna be talking about electrolytes. In South Texas, it's a must stay hydrated. I've tried them all. I used to take these Nun tablets, and I usually get the cheapest thing I can find, Propel from my local grocery store, these Body Armor Flash IV. I love Element, 1,000 milligrams of sodium, very salty, very good. Also very expensive, $1.50 a packet at best. Usually you can find it. Well, I reached out to a company, VenturePal, that I tried, and they are 60 to 75 cents per packet. They have 3 types. And so they sent me one of each. So these are the fast dissolve tablets. They are like the nuns. They do not have noons. I don't know how to say that, whatever. Why you gotta complicate it? It shouldn't be this complicated. From an English major, right? Okay, we also have these VenturePal 500 milligrams. They're like your standard Propel, Gatorade, Body Armor, Flash IV, and they're around the same price point as the competitors for those. However, they do have these element type packets, 1,000 milligrams of sodium, choice. Already drank them, already went through them. I need to get some more. They're on Amazon. You can get a 16 pack for 10 bucks, so they're much more affordable. I will also put a code in the description below, so if you're in the market for the salt, you just click the link down below. All right, thanks.